Have you heard of the character of Job? Job was a really righteous man who loved God and followed him. But terrible calamities came upon him. He lost his livelihood, he lost his livestock, he lost his family, and even lost his health. I wonder what you would do in that kind of situation. Would you continue to trust God and stick by him? Well, Job did. In Job chapter 13, verse 15, we get these words where Job says, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." That was Job's attitude. It's like, even though I know this has come from God, because it's not a judgment upon me, because I've not sinned enough to deserve this kind of treatment, I will still put my trust and my hope in God. It was amazing, isn't it? And in Job chapter 10, verse 21, we get an idea of just what his hope was like. Because it says that, "I go to the place of no return, to the land of gloom and deep shadow." Now, this means that Job didn't even have an understanding of the afterlife. He didn't know about heaven. And he didn't have that assurance. And yet he still stood by God and hoped in him, even though he didn't know exactly what that hope was. He didn't have the same hope that we have, that kind of confident expectation that the believer has this side of the cross because of what Jesus has done. He didn't have that because he lived before Jesus died on the cross. And this is the biggest thing, of the best thing of the lot. In Job chapter 6, verse 10, when he's longing to die. And the reason he wants to die is because he's worried that his faith might be faltering. And he just does not want to deny God. And he says these words, "Then I would have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One." The last thing he wanted to do was let God down. He wanted to stay firm right to the end of his life for God. What an example. Now, Job did do that. And he stayed faithful and trusted God throughout his life. And do you know what? God rewarded him. And he got his family back. He got his doubled the amount of cattle and livestock that he had before, and all his servants, and he was restored greatly in the latter days of his life, more so than in the early days of his life, because he stood firm. And he's a picture of how we, no matter what goes on in our lives, need to stand firm and follow God no matter what. And God will bless us richly when he comes with his reward.